here is a number for you, $24 billion. That is the current size of the global influencer marketing industry. Companies are pouring more money than ever into the creator economy. But there is a massive problem hiding behind all that cash. We are facing a paradox. While the industry is booming, actual human trust is plummeting. Recent studies show that nearly half of all consumers believe most influencers are fake. Over a third think influencers are actively misrepresenting themselves and the products they are selling. So if you are a brand or a creator, you are navigating a broken ecosystem. Consumers feel misled, and influencers are terrified of looking like sellouts. Today, we are breaking down a fascinating report from the Harvard Business Review that explains exactly why this is happening, and more importantly, how to fix it by understanding the 5 pillars of true authenticity. Let's start with the first pillar, expertise. Old school marketing tells us that expertise equals credentials, awards, and fancy titles. But on social media, that rulebook goes out the window. Research shows that audiences often trust an amateur runner training for their first 10K race more than they trust an Olympic athlete. Why? Because the amateur is relatable. We see their struggle, their consistency, and their journey. Authenticity doesn't come from a diploma, it comes from showing up consistently in a specific niche. Look at Jackie Aina in the beauty industry. She doesn't rely on formal credentials, she relies on deep product knowledge and candid, sometimes brutal, reviews. Compare that to when Volvo hired luxury fashion creator Chriselle Lim to promote eco-friendly cars. It flopped. Why? Because she had no history with sustainability. It felt like a transaction, not an expertise. The lesson here? Don't rent an expert. Partner with someone who actually lives the lifestyle. This brings us to pillar number 2, connectedness. Too many brands are obsessed with reach, just getting eyeballs on a post. But high-performing influencers prioritize reciprocal connection. Think of it this way. As one agency executive put it, there is a real danger in treating influencers as statues to be admired. Statues end up in museums. You want a conversation, not a monument. A perfect example of getting this wrong was the 2016 Sugar Bear hair saga with Kylie Jenner. Sure, she had millions of followers, so the reach was massive. But she had zero history of engaging with her audience about wellness or supplements. It became a meme on Reddit because it was so obviously transactional. Contrast that with the Sephora Squad. They host live Q&As and answer follower questions in real time. They turn passive viewers into active participants. That is the difference between buying an ad and building a community. Now let's talk about the elephants in the room: integrity and transparency. Audiences aren't stupid. They know creators need to make money. Surprisingly, they don't mind self-interest as long as you are honest about it. Integrity means acting with your audience's best interest in mind, not just your wallet. Take creator Samantha Ravindal. She openly turns down deals that make money but clash with her values, and she explains why to her audience. That refusal actually builds more trust than any ad could. And this links directly to transparency. Brands are often terrified of admitting flaws. They want the product to look perfect, but perfection is suspicious. There's a great example of influencer Victoria McGrath promoting Redken hair tools. Instead of pretending it was the only tool she used, she showed how it fit into a routine that also included her own Dyson dryer. Admitting that a competitor's product still has a place in your life makes your endorsement feel real. A small imperfection reduces uncertainty. Finally, we have the 5th pillar, originality. This is where most big corporate campaigns fail. They try to control the message with rigid scripts. Look at the Poppy soda controversy during their Super Bowl campaign. They sent extravagant vending machines to influencers' homes. The problem? Every influencer posted basically the same video. It looked scripted, wealthy, and out of touch. The audience immediately called it out as BS. Compare that to Colgate working with TikTok comedian Sabrina Breyer. They let her use her trademark sarcasm. It didn't feel like a toothpaste ad, it felt like a Sabrina Breyer sketch. When brands force a script, they kill the creator's voice. When they allow creative freedom, they get storytelling that actually converts. However, so here's the bottom line for the future of the creator economy. Authenticity isn't a fixed trait that you either have or you don't. It is something that is co-created between the brand, the influencer, and the audience. It requires balancing these 5 dimensions: expertise through experience, connectedness through dialogue, integrity through values, transparency regarding motives, and originality in storytelling. When you get this alignment right, influencer marketing stops being just a transaction. It becomes a transformational relationship that customers actually trust. Thanks for watching. If you are building a brand or a channel, let me know in the comments. Which of these 5 pillars do you think is the hardest to maintain? See you in the next video.